Okay, we're going to be talking about malware on Mac, and it's not just really a Mac thing, because I think eventually we may see it in Linux systems, even though they have very low market share right now. And I think a lot of people kind of misidentify malware as a virus. And virus, I think, is a totally different thing, because it propagates itself or self-replicates on the computer, and malware kind of tricks the user to installing it in most cases. The first thing we're going to talk about is actually called Mac Defender, which is probably one of the first ones coming on the Mac, which is basically a rogue security program that actually, which is ironic because it actually supposed to remove viruses and malware, and that's the malware program itself. And most often it also kind of tricks the user in also installing its password, since Mac and Linux systems are very password oriented. And usually how it would happen, you go to a malicious website and you would see a pop-up come up saying, scanning your system, we found viruses, and suggest you load this, I guess it's Mac Defender. And obviously you have to pay for it using your credit card, which it would then continue to make charges on. And also later on would link to pornographic websites. So, and it's kind of funny because I'm a longtime Linux user, and this has been many years back though. This is when Windows wasn't nearly as secure as it is now. And I would go to these websites too, and a pop-up coming up, the same thing, saying, oh, we scanned your system, we found viruses. And I could tell it was basically a web browser pop-up, and I figured they were trying to get me to buy this antivirus. And it was kind of funny because it would be misidentify my computer as Windows, which it wasn't, it was Linux. And then I'm way too smart, being a longtime Linux user, to know during that time, like I said, Linux systems are very secure. So, you know, I pretty much knew better on that one. And now, of course, there's actually this malware kit. You can actually make different variants of the same one, like Mac Defender, and they're known by many different names. And now, in some later revisions with Mac Defender, then you wouldn't actually need to add your password. It would actually get it by itself, which is kind of scary because normally it usually has to trick the user into adding, putting in the password to install. But now it seems there's a new variation of that. And that kind of leads us back to the more newer variants, which is called the Flashback Trojan. And when we first seen this come out, it would actually be seen as a fake Adobe Flash installer. You would go to certain websites and say, well, to enable to see this video or Flash on this website, you would have to download the most recent version. And then this pop-up, as you see right here, would pop up and, trying to get you to install it. And obviously you would need a password as well on this one. And now on this one, you see on later revisions, it wouldn't actually, it doesn't even need that Adobe installer to trick you to installing it. It uses a Java exploit on Mac OS X. And recently, Apple just released 2 Java updates to try to fix this exploit, which they should have done a long time ago. I definitely agree on that one. Okay, stick around because right after this, I'm going to show you a screencast on some ways you can try to prevent things like this. Okay, we're here at the Mac desktop. I'm going to show you some ways you can help detect if you got some malware on your Mac computer. Now, most of these instructions can be found on the internet, so I'm not really going to cover everything. And now this one's an example of the Flashback Trojan detection, some of the script files. I think there's a series of 3 you have to enter. and you would write them in here, and I guess it would try to find the DYLD insert libraries, and if it returns a does not exist, like right here, and then it's pretty much safe. And then there's actually 2 more scripts you got to enter as well, and I guess LSC environment, and same thing here as well. Does not exist. Most of these instructions you can find on the internet. Like I said, I'm not going to cover it during this time. And there's also another probably easier way for people who don't know much about terminal commands. You can go to macworld.com, and this one's for yet again the Flashback Checker. It's an automated script file, and you can just open that up. It's pretty simple. Check for flashback infection, and it runs pretty quick. And here it's showing no signs of infection were found. And that's another easy way of doing it, probably a little bit easier. Now, kind of want to talk about virus scanners on a Mac. And I don't think they're quite definitely not ready for the Mac yet, because I've seen them in the past, and they were so inefficient that would actually slow your Mac in some cases down to a crawl, because it would scan in the background, so it would always be on. There might be a possible way of turning that off and then just scanning the files itself, which would probably be better. But hopefully in the future we're going to see better virus malware scanners for Mac.